Say no to the turbos. Hello everyone, Julio from Nippon Automotive here. Today I'm going to be explaining to you why you should stay away from purchasing a vehicle with either a turbo or supercharger in it. But before I tell you that, I'm going to just give you a brief explanation as to what a turbo supercharger are, or like what their purposes are, right? So really their main thing is just to get more air into the engine, which therefore increases horsepower and amongst a bunch of other stuff. Okay. So now, and well, it also depends on how the factory designs a car because they can kind of use it as a way to help with increasing gas mileage, that sort of thing. All right. So the reason I say to stay away from it is because, well, first off, if you're going to lease the car, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to finance the car, if you're going to buy something like that, cash off the street, that's just more stuff that can go bad later because the turbo is just an item added to an engine, right? For better overall performance. There's also a bunch of other little hoses and items, all these other little things that go along with that. Okay. So if you keep the car long enough, that's just more crap that can go bad later and therefore start sinking a hole into your pocket. Okay. You're better off just buying something that's naturally aspirated without a turbo supercharger and just staying on top of the maintenance. And even then, there's some bad cars out there that are designed incorrectly or have parts that are designed incorrectly, and that's a talk for in another video. But as far as the turbos and superchargers, just stay away from that stuff. They may sound cool or whatever, go faster, yada yada yada, but forget all that. That's just gonna cause you to spend a lot more money than you should have to. And you're better off just buying a car cash without any of those two items, and the money that would be going into a car payment, you save that and put it into emergency fund, invest it, something like that. Be smart about the whole process because you got to realize too that owning a car, over time, it gets very expensive. So why not be smart about the whole situation? Get yourself a simple, reliable vehicle with all the extra, safety items is one thing, but all the extra doodads and whatnot that are, the bells and whistles, so to speak, that come along with the car, especially when it comes to a turbo supercharger, just skip out on all that. Get something simple and reliable, and save that extra money that would be going into something into a car like that if you own one, and just put that in again, invest it in an emergency fund, something like that. Okay. Um, that is the better way to go about it. You don't want to necessarily just purchase any vehicle. From a mechanic perspective, I see on many cars and how there are a lot of weaknesses with certain brands and certain models, right? So with that information, I am very picky on the cars that I choose because occasionally I'll flip a car, every once in a while, right? And I'm very picky on that. I focus on what I know. I help minimize risk, and I use my education to help minimize the risk, right? And get something, fix it up and sell it, sell a quality car. I've dealt with turbos in the past, and again, it's just so much more added to the car. It just makes everything so much harder, for repair or maintenance, and especially just a lot more expensive. Be smart, stay away from those kind of cars. If you have to go for something like that, go for something that's well, do your research. But generally speaking, that comes from a factory, not something that was messed with aftermarket. You don't want to deal with that. Um, but there's something from the factory and from a reputable company because they're not, unfortunately, not all built the same. So do your research, get something reliable, and stay away from those cars. Be smart, save your money. You'll thank me later.